Year 4 is officially over, and it was our best year in the first 4 seasons of this Teambuilder Dynasty. We went 10-4, we won the Sunbelt Championship for the very first time, and we had our biggest win total of the Dynasty so far. We went 2-10 year 1, 3-9 in year 2, a big jump to 8-5 last year, and now we're coming off our best season, and we had a pretty prestigious bowl matchup against the Clemson Tigers and the Birmingham Bowl, 2 top 25 teams going head-to-head. We competed for the entire first half, but then the second half was all Clemson, and we end the year with our 4th loss, and we failed to get win number 11, but we did get number 10. That was our first time getting to double-digit victories in this dynasty, and now it's about trying to keep that up, trying to surpass that 10-win total, and hopefully even reach the college football playoff in year 5. I don't really care what happens in the playoff. I just want to see us make it, and that will be enough for me to say that it was a successful season. We almost made it this year. Got kind of screwed over, I think, in the top 12, college football playoff committee stuff. But now we're here. We end the year number 19 in the country. And now it's time for our 4th offseason here in this Teambuilder Dynasty, folks. But it's 2027, and we have 13 starters leaving our program. Nobody is leaving to the portal, but they are all leaving because they are seniors, they're graduating, and they have no more eligibility left. We got Miles Springer, Malik Moon, who won the Best Defensive Back Award. We're losing our top 3 wide receivers in Scooter Page, Javon Moore, and CJ Nelson. We're losing 2 of our top 3 tailbacks in Cameron Teague and Karan Boyd, who won Best Running Back this season. We're losing one of our backup tight ends. We're losing our left tackle, Isaiah Crowder, one of our guards, Eric Paulding, 2 of our centers, a right tackle, defensive lineman, including 2 of our top defensive tackles in Cade Bloom and DJ Dean. Underwood graduating. He was our top pass rusher for the first couple years in this dynasty. And we're losing 3 of our top 5 corners in Malik Moon, Dakota Mills, Juan Bolden, plus our starting free safety, Hunter Haynes. So 13 of these players were starting for all or most of the year. And we have a lot of guys to replace entering this new era of the team, of the program. And I doubt we had any players drafted, but just curious about the draft results. And we did have nobody taken, but I think next year we probably will. I think next year we're going to have one of our top players probably be drafted, or the year after that. We do have one guy on the roster who I think is going to project very well by his career's end, and that's going to be one of our middle linebackers who I'm hoping was a redshirt player this past season. And that is going to be Jaquez Michelle, who probably won't end up getting that red shirt, but he has elite development. He has very, very high skill cap, so he's going to be like a really great all-around player for us. Give it just a year or 2. He might even have a huge jump this season. We'll have to wait on that. But I think we're just, kind of hoping that we get a lot of these players that are already on the roster a big attribute boost between now and next year. We'll see what the quarterback stuff looks like. We got, Brady already up to like an 82 overall without the coaching boost, but just going to take a whole tier of the roster so we can kind of compare, get a general idea of who is going to have those big boosts once we get to the next preseason. Offensive line's going to have some holes to fill, no doubt about that. But we do have our best recruiting class coming in this season. So we have, I think, 8 or 9 4-star players that we have signed already. And we're going to try and add a couple players in the portal to fill these starter gaps and see if other players can step up as well that have already been in the program. But just a quick look here at the amount of top-level seniors leaving our program based on ratings alone. But now it's time to see what we can do and who to add in the transfer portal and the rest of the recruiting class. Now, one thing I do want to do is just take note of any players in the 5-star prospects or 4-star prospects that have interest in our school. We got a couple of 4 stars for the first time in the portal. There's only a handful. There's not too many players in the portal this year. But at 4 stars, we got a couple players. We could go after a top corner in Timmy Oki. There is a quarterback, Walker White, who actually played for one of the teams that we faced the last couple years in Southern Miss. So another Sun Belt Conference school, kind of one of our rivals now in the series. But I think we're fine at quarterback. There is a center, which could be a spot beat for us after we lose our top 2 players, and Brooks Simonson. I don't see why not. And then you have a safety, which is a perfect spot for us. Jonathan Gatson, the brother of some other guy named Gatson, who I think plays in the conference. So we could go after him. He's a really solid player. Currently looking at Colorado, Western Michigan, and Colorado State. Well, we are in his top 5. It will definitely go after him, Simonson, and Oki as well, who is a man-to-man corner. And there is plenty of 3-star interest as well, but I do feel like we have to really pick and choose, because I don't want to be the program that signs too many guys and then has to cut a bunch of players already in the program just because we signed too many players. So we're going to try and just pick and choose the right players. We'll do plenty of scouting and figure out who are the best guys to go after and find guys that can fill needs that we haven't already addressed in the recruiting class. We still have 12 overall needs left to go after, mostly offensive line. I'll have to focus on that on the high school recruits. We've already signed 3 of 4 receivers. We got to get 1 more running back. And on defense, we need... I think we're fine at defensive end. We do need 1 more defensive tackle, middle linebacker, or right outside linebacker, a corner, which we're going to get hopefully in the portal, plus that safety with Gatson. So we will already be addressing a couple of these top needs with these portal picks. All right, take a look at these 3 guys, these 3 4-star portal prospects. We got Timmy Oki here, and we're going to scout him. He's actually from London. 95 speed, 94 man coverage, very agile, very athletic. We need this guy on this team because we have really low speed corners. This will really help us kind of deflate those deep ball passes that have been kind of plaguing us for the better part of this dynasty. So we're going to go after Timmy Oki here, or maybe it's Oak, not really sure, but we're going to go after him for sure and just send the house straight up and try and just secure this early on in the off-season. 75 hours go his way. Then we got Brooks Simonson, who has interest now in North Carolina, SMU, a couple of ACC schools. And this guy looks really good, especially with pass block power at 99. He is a power guy, so this does not really fit our agile running scheme, but you need a guy with this much strength and this much run blocking ability where we have, had some issues in the past. So we're going to definitely target him and hopefully bring him in as our, starting caliber center. We'll send the house on him as well. And we might as well schedule a visit just to maximize the recruiting potential. And we'll do it this week. And for Jonathan Gatson, the free safety, who is going to be, I believe, a senior, 97 awareness, solid zone coverage, 88 speed's pretty good for a safety, really good jumping. I think I like him a lot. He's got a couple of nice abilities, ball hawk, house call, robber. We could use a turnover machine like him. And we're going to do the same exact thing, just pour on the hours. And so also, schedule a visit too. Why not? I am going to scout 3-star high school guard Shaq Dubose as well. And he's a gem. 63 speed, 88 strength. He's one for the future, but we do need to get 1 more guard in this class. And you might as well go after a gem like him. So we're going to offer him. We might want to try to include some more power runs in our playbook. He has an offer right now from Louisville. We'll have to jump them, hopefully, these next couple weeks. We can't schedule a visit yet for him, but we can go up to 65 hours. And we're also in recruiting battles for Deontay Kamara, that 3-star right tackle, and another right tackle, Raphael Keller. It's between us and OSU right now. We can add hours for him. He does fit our scheme more than the other offensive linemen do. And we're going to send the house and schedule a visit this week just to try and surpass the Cowboys here on what would probably be the final day to secure his commitment. We'll do coach stability because that's the highest. We're going to use the rest of our points this week to look at some skill position players with Taiwan Office and Joshua Ringer. These guys are both portal players. Office has 90 speed, 93 agility, solid juke move. Not the greatest ratings across the board, but could be a serviceable backup, no doubt. I have no idea who's going to be our number one guy, but it would probably be a portal player. If you want, like the highest overall player. He's already got a couple of abilities, but only mental. We'll offer a scholarship for now. We'll look at Ringer next. They're both elusive backs. Ringer is slower. I think has higher acceleration. He does. Lower juke move, but higher ball carrier vision. 94 carrying, though, is really good to, take care of the football and have good ball security, where Office is kind of worse. And I think having that burst of acceleration could be better than having 88 and then 90 speed. So we're going to offer Ringer, rather, a scholarship as well. And we'll throw in maybe a couple hours, like 5, just to start things out. And then we've got a couple of wide receivers. We've already acquired 3 from high school. Now we'll look at a couple of portal players. We got Jordan Woolen here, who's looking at Clemson. He is heavily favoring Clemson. He's a deep threat with 98 speed. Okay, we're going to target him, no doubt. I'm not going to spend the last 10 hours on him because we know that he's just a special player. We need him right now. We're going to do the same thing, offer a scholarship, and search social media and hope that no other school offers a scholarship this week. We have reached the top 5 for Taiwan Office, Woolen, Dennis, and Malawalu, but we have not been, crossed down from anybody's board so far. But Woolen has Auburn, Clemson, and I think that's Tulsa also offering him. So we have to really up our game here if we want a player of that caliber to join our program. We're going to focus on him. We're going to schedule a visit this week and get that out of the way. We'll do a Championship Contender because we know that that's going to be one of his motivations. And we're going to stock up the hours. I don't want to hard sell yet because we don't know what the other 2 motivations are. Does he have a deal breaker? He does. Coach Prestige. So we do know that it's Championship Contender and Coach Prestige. Is there any hard sell that has both and nothing else? So it could be to the house. We know that that's going to have both at least. And that's going to be it. Nothing else has both Championship Contender and Coach Prestige. So we're going to go after to the house. Make that the hard sell, actually. And we're going to fill in the rest of the hours as well by contacting friends and family. And I'm not going to bother spending 10 hours to finish out his profile because we know that he's going to be a great player. And that is all we can do this week for him. So we're going to let that be. And now for Raji Dennis, just in case we can't get Woolen, he's got 95 speed plus a platinum shifty ability. He's really agile. He's really agile, excuse me. Has great acceleration. Route running's not too bad. Release is way better than Woolen's is. I could go for either player. We got Texas State and LSU in the running for him as well. We're going to offer all these guys. And if we get all of them, then we're just going to have to make do. But we have 3 senior wideouts leaving. This would be a perfect way to kind of replace those players and have even better playmakers going into year 5. We'll also schedule a visit for him for this week. And he is a deal breaker as playing style, but that's the only one that we know of right now. So we're not going to bother with the hard sell yet, but we'll choose playing style because we have a very pass-heavy offense right now. And I think guys like him would like to play for a school that is running that kind of an offense. We'll do send the house, and we'll load up the hours as much as possible. And then we'll look at Jordan Malawalu. He's also got top tier speed at 91, 95 acceleration, also has platinum shifty. And we do have a platinum pipeline for him. So that will really help us out against teams like USC, Arizona, and I'm not sure what UU is, but I don't want to find out. Let's offer him as well. I would really be happy with any of these players. Hopefully 2 of the 3 will choose us. And we'll just throw in what we can. We'll schedule a visit. This deal breaker, I believe, is also playing style. It is. And we'll spend 10 more hours on him. At 5 more, we got 5 left. And back to the running backs. Purdue and Ball State over us right now for Ringer in his top 8. Has yet to reach his top 5. Office, we're in his top 3 alongside Kentucky and Ball State as well. So Ball State's trying to poach one of these guys away. I would like Ringer over Office. And we're gonna take off social media and now go with DM the player. We advance and learned that high school recruit Rafael Keller has accepted his offer from Houma. And we also get 4-star corner Timmy Oki. That is huge. That is the best corner already in program history without even playing a single snap. That is amazing. And we are first place for Simonson and Gatson, but Jordan Woolen has chosen Auburn. So we have work to do in the wide receiver department. But now we have a lot of hours left to spend. And it looks like we have passed Texas State for Raji Dennis, who is my next favorite wideout. LSU is climbing up the boards. They have that 5 platinum tier. But we could still beat them out if we do this right, I think. And now I think maybe it's time for us to try and sell him. You know, that pro potential is one of his motivations, which means that we can kind of whittle it down. So playing style and pro potential. Are there any that include both of those? There is the clutch. Any other ones? Nope, just the clutch. So we're going to choose that. And we've already had the visit scheduled for this last week. And we will use the rest of the hours as well alongside with that. And just hope that we can pass LSU, but it's going to be tough if they do things right themselves. Then for Jordan Malawalu, still got all 3 schools ahead of us, but we do have that platinum tier, which means that we can easily pass him if we do this correctly. And we have the hours left to spend on him. He's also got the same one, the clutch, with pro potential, playing style, and proxim to home. We'll choose that. We'll do the same exact action combination for him. I just want one of these players because both of these guys are amazing athletically, and we could really use guys like that to replace the guys that we're losing. In terms of Joshua Ringer, we are now second over Ball State and behind Purdue, and we could easily pass them despite having no pipeline tier. And we can probably do a hard sell at this stage, given that he's got athletic facilities and conference prestige. He probably has Prove Yourself as his full motivation set. And it looks like that does line up. Defensively, tackle is still a need for us. We're going to look at Keith Church, the only player in the portal at 3-star or high that has interest in our school. And he's got offers right now from both Penn State and Michigan. So tough battle, uphill climb for us. But let's take a look here. Solid finesse moves, good awareness. And not sure about his block shed, but he could be a decent rusher for us, like a pass rusher. You know, I think it's worth taking a shot. We need a guy like this. I think we'll offer a scholarship, and we'll schedule a visit as well for this week. His deal breaker is Championship Contender, so we can definitely use that. Middle linebacker also in need, so why not scout a couple of these portal players? You got Eric Roberts, 74 zone coverage, 82 speed, but 94 play rec is nice. They're all pass coverage players. 83 tackle for Donnell Ramesh, 80 play rec, 90 speed. That is amazing with 76 man coverage. Not too bad. Rutherford, 81 speed, better zone and man coverage, but speed is a killer for a linebacker. Let's offer Ramesh here. He's got offers from USC, believe that's Nevada, and then Oklahoma State as well. More recruits. We got 3-star Jim Deontay Kamara to commit to Houma. We do get the 4-star center Brooks Simonson. That's a big get for the offensive line. We also get 4-star safety Jonathan Gatson. That should really help us out over the top and hopefully give us a lot more turnovers and less of those big plays. And that is it so far, and we are second place for Raji Dennis behind LSU. We're so close, but he's probably going to commit this week. We do lose out on Malawalu somehow, despite having the platinum tier. We don't even reach his top 3. I'm surprised by that. We also do not get Ramesh somehow. So a couple big losses there, but 2 key 4-stars plus a 3-star gem. That's still pretty nice. And we're in 3rd right now for Keith Church, that 3-star portal tackle, but he's probably not going to choose us. We are way lower than Penn State and Michigan both. Okay, so here's a curious thing. I am wondering why all of a sudden the needs have jumped up to 18 for defense and 15 for offense. The numbers have shifted since I last checked, and I'm kind of curious why that is. Hopefully it's not anything to be concerned about, but now I'm a little bit worried. I've added a few high school recruits to our board to take a look at, a couple of linebackers, a couple of tight ends to take a look at. We'll start with Tavares Michaels, who we have already scouted before. He's a possession guy. Not really a fan of him. There is Drew Prohl, and he is a bust with 85 speed. That's pretty nice for a tight end. Solid catching. Spec catch is also pretty solid. We'll take a look at him if we don't find anybody else that we like. Nick Lambo is a blocking tight end. Just a bunch of 60 overall ratings. Not really too interested for him. Ramon Clay, another blocking guy. 76 strength, but everything else definitely needs some work. Emmanuel Pettis, possession player. 80 catching. 82 acceleration, 82 agility, poor pass blocker, and run blocker. Jaquez Winton, I have re-added him. He's got 85 strength, solid block. Could be a guy that we offer a scholarship to, just in case we don't get another defensive tackle, and we'll offer him. He's already got offers from, I believe that's Florida Atlantic, and we're going to maybe just send the house on him, and we'll spend any extra hours on him at the end. Ramon Fala, a power rushing outside linebacker, and he's a bust. 81 power moves, 78 speed, 80 strength. Central Dugans, a JUCO player that does not look very good at all. Only 74 power moves for a power rusher. I think I'm going to have to pass on him. I'm going to take him off our board. We've also got run stopper Brian Fayad. Also a bust, but 86 speed is nice for a linebacker. And 84 tackling at a high school, not bad. Dan Sanders is a gem. We're going to offer him no matter what. 83 speed as a freshman is going to be pretty nice. It should be going up as well. So we'll offer him. This could be our last middle linebacker signing now. Interest is low. We're at number 10 for him, but only one offer right now from UTSA. Might as well fill up the hours. And that's probably all that we can do here. We're probably just going to have a couple spots on our roster where it's not really fully fleshed out, but we've offered 29 scholarships in total as of right now. Our board is nearly full. We've done all we can. Let's go see what happens for guys like Raji Dennis and Roberts and Ringer, and we'll see if we can add more to this best program recruiting class in team history. We do end up getting 3-star gem guard Shaq Dubose. We do get Joshua Ringer at running back, so could be a potential starting option. We get Eric Roberts. I'm not seeing Raji Dennis. There's Dan Sanders. And man, we missed it on all 3 of those receivers. All 3 of them. He chose LSU. That hurts, man. We had a chance to get some really top-tier players. They had interest, and we failed to bring them in. We only have one athlete in the position changes section, and it's Brian Lair. I'm not going to change anybody else around from linebacker to safety. Otherwise, I'll just use them where I see fit. But for Lair, he came in as a wide receiver, but is he better at safety? He's got 68 for both free and strong. And he could play tight end, but at a 190, is he big enough? I don't think so. He needs to be a bit weightier to make that part of the team. So we're definitely going to be thin at a couple of spots, and I forgot to go after a punter. I was trying to focus on those receivers. So we're going to be thin at center, most likely. Only 1 or 2 guys on the roster that's going to be at that position. For Lair, I mean, he would give us the minimum for a receiver. I think we have to choose that. And maybe go elsewhere after next year for him. Now here we go, training results. We're a level 50 coach now, entering year 5, and we go from like an 85, 86 to 87. We're still a 2-star program, but this offensive line is going to be really good. And we can play any of these 3 right guards at center, most likely if Simonson's not going to be good enough to play that position. But let's go by each position here. Steven Breda does not go up. He's at 82, 86 with the boosts. But Isaiah Power, 75. Tyquan Keene, 73. Tyler Griggs, a 70 or a 67 without those boosts. Gallimore probably's capped out. It seems like for Breda, he has reached his cap already, and that is the case. So he's already a pretty good player. I think he's fine to be our quarterback for sure. But if we can find like a 4-star gem in a couple years, that would be the ideal scenario for me. What about these redshirt freshmen? Tyquan Keene, where are his cap stats? He's still got elusiveness, IQ, and quickness left to go. So that's not too far down. And then for Tyler Griggs, what about him? Impact developments, still a long way to go for accuracy and IQ. Isaiah Power had star dev, but he really only has accuracy left. He's probably not gonna be a higher overall than Breda is right now. At running back, Kiki Newcomb had a huge boost, and he's going to be better than Karan Boyd was last season, at least based on the overalls. So he goes up to 85 true overall, and he still could improve going into his senior season next time. So route running, hands, IQ, power can all go up, but he's got 90 speed. He's maxed on elusiveness and quickness, but still can definitely improve. Hopefully he's going to be better than Boyd was last year. I mean, Boyd was fine. No, don't get me wrong. But if we could have a better player, that would be nice. And how about Tyree Mulligan? Redshirt freshman, 80 overall, true overall. And still has caps left to hit in 5 out of 6 categories. He's got 92 speed, but less acceleration than Newcomb. But I think right now Newcomb's going to be our primary guy. Mulligan is, like Newcomb, a receiving back. At wide receiver, we're just going to go top heavy here. And we're going to have to rely on the speed of Cal Harper as a true freshman to really give us that downfield play. But Trayon Bell, entering his senior year, is a 84 true overall, a 92 speed. He's going to be our #1 guy. So maybe a bit of a decline in terms of the receiving core compared to last year, but he is very agile, can jump. He is just he's kind of a freak athlete, to be honest with you, with good speed. He is the max possible elusiveness. I can't really complain with him. He's gonna have a pretty massive role for us. You got LJ Young Jr. also, who was, getting some playing time last year, 84 overall true value, and he's pretty much maxed out entering his final year. Also very elusive, but has great hands. 93 catching, 92 spec catch, 99 catch and traffic. That's going to be huge on third downs, and hopefully these downfield throws as well when there's a guy draped all over him. Not the speediest guy, but it's not going to be that big of a concern. So you got Cal Harper. We'll check his player card in a moment. Roland Hasty will be our #4 guy. Has star dev, true sophomore, and still skill caps left to hit, but he's maxed elusively and has 91 speed. Still 1 take left to hit on the quickness, but I think he's pretty solid. Won't be that reliable in traffic, but I think he's a solid #4 guy to have that can really grow these next couple of years. Howie Mann, not so much, but we'll check on Sherador and Brian Lair and their skill caps here soon. Tight end, we have both Reggie Reese and LaShawn Gray. Gray, I think, has been capped out as a senior. He's going to be a true senior. We'll get plenty of playing time as well. Should we play him over Reggie Reese, who is now a redshirt player? Higher overall, higher speed, and he's maxed out too. But no injury concerns for him. He seems pretty solid, all things considered. So tight end, we're kind of thin there, but I think we can make do. Now at tackle. Left tackle is not looking too promising for starting caliber players. We've got Clay Sampson, Andrew Spanway, and Larry Marcock. At right tackle, you probably got to move Reggie Cole or Houston to left tackle, and I think I'm leaning towards Houston because he's got that pass protector archetype. 84 speed is really, really good for a tackle no matter what, even if you're a power player. And he is a senior, but never really hit his ceiling. That's fine, but great stamina, really agile, a decent run blocker at the most, but definitely not great. But pass blocking wise, I think he's probably our best bet. So we'll play him there at left tackle. And then at guard, we have a couple of great right guards, but at left guard, we've got Grant Huff, who is going to enter his senior season with Robert Hajrulahu and John Rabe backing him up. He will stay at left guard for sure. He's really good. At center, we've got Demetrius Camelot, Brooks Simonson, and then Cage Slotman, that 4-star recruit. Simonson, same speed as Camelot. He does have a higher overall, true overall, than Camelot does. He's got better agility, but less strength. He's a worse overall pass blocker, but is a better pass block power guy. worse on pass block finesse. He is just better in power pretty much. I think I'm leaning towards Calm a lot with that strength. And then we can use Simonson perhaps next year. But what about the right guards? You got 3 90+ overall players with the coaching boost, and 2 of those guys are redshirt sophomores with Paul Phoenix and Cole Kane. Frank Bad News has the highest speed of all 3 players and the highest strength. That's a pretty good job right there, but the highest awareness goes to Paul Phoenix. Highest pass block is Bad News. Pass block power, really high for Phoenix and Cole Kane. Pass block finesse, very high for Cole Kane and for Bad News. I think Frank Bad News deserves a shot, maybe as the center with that strength and the pass blocking skills. Run blocking is only bad in power, but strength should help overpower that. So the offensive line's in a pretty good place, I think, regardless of the few holes that we do have. And then defensive end, we get James Couch-Smith back. 86 overall with the boosting. And he went up by a little bit, but not by a lot. Definitely got some play rec and power move help. Will hopefully help us stop the run better this year. But he's got 96 hit power, really good pursuit. I think he's a promising player for us. We've also got redshirt freshman Chuck Gato and Greg Gibbs behind him. We'll see who gets the most playing time as a backup. But at right end, we have several players that can really fit in across this defensive line. You've got Dorian Combs now up to 85 overall without the boost. Keelan Byard at 82. John Decker IV is now the 3rd highest rated defensive end at this position. We added a couple of freshmen there as well. So highest power moves, that belongs to Keelan Byard, followed by John Decker and then Dorian Combs. Highest finesse moves, Dorian Combs, then John Decker, and then block shed, John Decker, and Sermon. So I feel like John Decker's still the right guy to play here as a senior. Other guys will have plenty of playing time next year, as we have mostly redshirt sophomores or younger. So I think John Decker's still the starter at right end for us. And then defensive tackle, we get Tevin Hippenhammer up to 87 with the boosting, with 90 strength, 99 play recognition, 93 power moves. Block shed, though, is going to be a concern for these defensive tackles. That's for sure. But they will be good pass rushers, both him and Finau Soto. Good pursuits, good hit power as well. So we'll probably start Hippenhammer at the 1 there. And then left outside linebacker. I have no idea if this is going to be a pass coverage or power rushing role. But Ben Laney was there last year. I think he can play there this year with 99 play rec. Good tackling, hit power, block shed, power moves. Finesse moves in a pretty solid area. Pursuit not too bad. And his speed is 84 compared to 86 for King Joseph Edwards, who is now a senior. Both guys will get plenty of options, plenty of playing time. How about right outside linebacker? You got Draymond Gates back for his senior year. 81 speed, increases to play rec, tackling, power, or hit power at 99. So hopefully a couple more fumbles coming from him. 88 block shed, solid power moves, finesse moves, near the max. And then what about middle linebacker? Shakir Pounds will surpass Maloney as the highest rated player. Jaquez Michelle just went up from like a 70 to 82. Holy cow. What a jump for him. He still has not reached any level for his physical attributes or the physical abilities, but I mean, really good pass coverage. IQ is already high. Pass rushing skill is not very good, but he's a good run stopper with that pursuit. And 87 speed. I think he's going to be a backup this year, but when he's a redshirt sophomore, expect him to be like a 90+ overall player. We have a lot of depth at middle linebacker. Got to get somebody to look somewhere else, maybe at like the 3rd down linebacker position, but Shakir Pounds and Millennial are both going to return as really highly rated players. In terms of corners, we're looking okay. We have a really good #1 player in Timioki with 95 speed, 94 man coverage. Zone coverage, not great, but I think that the speed's going to be a big difference maker there for him. And we still have Randall Glenn and Paul Nix at the max zone coverage, and then to Marvin Holland as well. So I'm not concerned about our secondary too much. Plus, we got some really high speed true freshmen who are both 74 plus overall. We'll still check on the freshman class in the moment. Jonathan Gatson, 87 overall. That was a big get for us. He's going to be a really good pairing alongside Lehan and the secondary. 83 zone coverage, 88 speed. We backed up by really promising redshirt freshman Damian G. And then you also got Ray Brooks with 93 speed. So we have a solid future ahead of us at free safety. And then Lehan goes up, or does he stay the same at 89? I think he's the same entering his redshirt season. But now you got Vince Pike, 84 overall as a redshirt freshman. But Lehan will win that starting job, no question. But both guys are great zone coverage players. So better speed for Pike. Maybe if Lehan underperforms, Pike will get a shot later on. No boost to George Lincoln at kicker. And I think Andrade went up by 4 overalls. But he's not very good. Overall, though, we only went up by a couple overall points in terms of the team. But I think we have a really good offensive line if we can move Bad News back to center. And we have a really promising defense based on what I've seen so far. Really good depth on defense as well. So, good stuff there. We'll see if receiver becomes a concern for us. But running back improved. I think our top 2 receivers are better than our top 2 guys from last year, at least based on the overalls. And now we're going to see about these freshmen. We only have to encourage 2 transfers, and I think I'm leaning towards right end where we had a lot of depth, or linebacker as well. We have Kyle Parker, who's a redshirt freshman. We still have Boyette and Michelle and Maloney, only a redshirt sophomore. So I feel like we can perhaps encourage Parker to transfer. We'll take a look at right end, though. We have guys like Garrison Colco, who probably is not going to see the field all that much. Or you could see Marquez Sermons off it. I think I'd rather choose him because he's just not very good. So we'll encourage him to transfer. And then the last one, I think it's just got to be who we saw at linebacker. Because every other spot, I think we are needing that depth. So at linebacker, Kyle Parker, we will encourage you to step away from the program. We're actually up to an 88 overall now with an 89 overall defense. We're about to dominate this conference, I think, this season. We had no freshman quarterbacks. We had 2 players brought in the recruiting class. We got Larry Lamp first up, a JUCO sophomore, star development, and honestly, the skill caps are pretty good. Everything is at 3 or less skill caps, so hopefully he will progress pretty well these next year or 2. And then Dakota Farrell, the 92 speed power back, normal development, and skill caps way worse than Larry Lamp. Across the board, everything's worse. At receiver, what about Cal Harper and the rest of these players like Brian Lair and Enrique Cherador? Cal Harper, 94 speed, deep threat, elite development. That is huge. And skill caps, he's got a great ceiling. And if he plays this year, which I do plan to play him at that number 3 spot, I think he's going to be a difference maker both this year and when he progresses next year. He's going to be an amazing talent for us in this receiving core. So excited by him. Brian Lair next up, a physical wide receiver, normal development, and worst skill caps, already nearly capped out, to be honest with you. So he's not going to be seeing the field all too much in his career here. He might have to encourage a transfer down the line. And Enrique Cherador, also normal development, deep threat guy. He's not close to capping out, but definitely has a lower ceiling than Cal Harper. At tight end, we've got Clay Henson. He's got normal developments and is nearly maxed out. At center, we've got the 3-star gem, Cade Schlotman, who's already a 74 overall freshman. Impact development, so he was a 4-star actually, excuse me. The only concern for him is going to be the IQ and footwork, but pass blocking, power, quickness, run blocking, all able to get worked on, and a high ceiling at all of those areas, so not really too concerned with him. Right guard, we brought in the 3-star gem, Shaq Dubose. Impact developments, and solid but not great skill caps, quickness, and footwork, both the lowest. We got 2 tackles here, Deontay Kamara and Rafael Keller. Kamara was the gem, and he's got impact developments, and pass blocking's not going to be the highest ceiling, but everything else will be pretty good in a couple seasons, you would have to think. He's already a 73 with the boosting, so pretty good starting point for him. And then Rafael Keller. He's got normal developments, and these caps are not great. What about Lee Agbana and Emmett Coolidge, the 2 right ends we brought in? Agbana, star dev, that's the second highest possible, and really solid skill caps. He'll be solid here in a couple years. He'll be a redshirt freshman most likely this year. And then what about Emmett Coolidge, his fellow freshman? He's got normal developments and way worse skill caps, so not going to be as good. He brought in 1 defensive tackle, and that was Dom Zimmons, who's a freshman. Normal developments, and skill caps aren't great, but there's still plenty of things to work on. He could be like a serviceable starter in a couple seasons. At linebacker, redshirt freshman Dan Sanders, has star development. Skill caps, not too bad. He's already maxed out for quickness, but he does have solid speed. But pass coverage, pass rushing, IQ will all get better in time. Happy with that. And how about these 2 corners? They won't get much playing time, but if somebody does not play well, they could see the field at some point. Henry DeVries has 98 speed and is a 75 true overall with impact developments and skill caps. Really good for his coverage skills. Hands, not so much. Maxed out for his quickness, but I'm not really going to complain. He's got 98 speed, so happy with this. He's a really, really good 4-star corner and could even see the field a couple of times a game this year if things don't go well for the top 5 players. Then you got Chuck Carter at a 74 true overall, and he's got normal developments with similar skill caps for coverage, higher skill caps for hands, and also maxed out in quickness. At safety, you got Reggie Lamb, who was a 4-star. Normal developments, zone coverage, definitely a high skill cap there, and man coverage should also be pretty good in a couple years, but run support's not going to be great for him ever in his career. It's only going to be a decent level. We had 1 strong safety with Nick Bonea. He is an elite dev player. We got 2 of them in this class. He's a 4-star, and the skill caps look wonderful for run support, IQ, and pass coverage. Yep, he's going to be the new Lehan here in a couple seasons, no doubt about that, unless Vince Pike gives him a run for his money. But already a 76 with the boosts, so that's a great pick. And we're going to enter year 5 looking like this. Breda as the quarterback, Newcomb as the #1 running back. At receiver, top 3 of Trayon Bell, LJ Young Jr., and Cal Harper, getting plenty of playing time in his true freshman season. We'll have Reggie Rice backed up by LaShawn Gray at tight end. We'll have Jermaine Houston be our left tackle initially, backed up by Reggie Cole. We'll have Grant Huff return as the left guard. At center, Frank Bad News will get a starting role for the first time in his career over Brooks Simonson. At right guard, we've got Paul Phoenix backed up by Cole Kane, but they will be probably battling for that job as we move through the year and compare their numbers and their performances. And right tackle, I'm going to rock with Damian Green once again over Cole because he's faster. He's not quite as strong, but he has better awareness and way better pass and run blocking skills pretty much across the board. His numbers are better. He's way faster and just knows where his assignment is at all times pretty much. Dorian Combs as the left end, backed up by James Couch-Smith. John Decker as the starting right end, backed up by Keelan Byard. Defensive tackle, number 1, Tevin Hippenhammer. Number 2, Fanau Soto. At left outside, Draymond Gates, backed up by Ben Laney. Middle linebacker, Shakir Pounds and Maloney, backed up by Michelle and Greenwood. Right outside linebacker, King, Joseph Edwards, and then Ben Laney behind him. We'll see who ends up playing the best out there. And then at corner, Timmy Oki as the number 1. Then Randall Glenn, DeMarvin Holland, Donnie Gesser, and Paul Nix as your top 5. Trying to avoid the low acceleration numbers of Gesser and Nix in the top 3. And we'll go from there. Pretty solid man in zone coverage for all those players pretty much. Gatson, the number 1 free safety. Lehan, the number 1 strong safety. Lincoln, the kicker. Andrade, the punter. We'll have Cherador return both kicks and punts, so he's going to get playing time as the 5 receiver anyways over Brian Lair. And then we'll have Newcomb as the 3rd down back. Ringer as the power running back. That's the highest rated guy we have on the roster at a 72 at that position. And then in the slots, Kyle Harper with that 94 speed, 94 acceleration. Hoping for him to be a big playmaker for us this year. Rush left end, Dorian Combs. Rush right end, James Couch-Smith. Rush defensive tackle, Tevin Hippenhammer. And sub linebacker Maloney with that speed and great zone coverage. And then in the slot corner, Randall Glenn. So we'll make adjustments as we see fit as the year starts. But I think we have a better roster, but not by much compared to last year. But I do expect a similar win total, a similar result. I want to win the Sun Belt once again, but I want to make the college football playoff as well. That's the biggest goal, I think, of this year. And now, what about our schedule? Year 5 will once again open against our rivals, the Memphis Tigers, on the road in Tennessee. They're coming off a 4-8 season. We're coming off a 10-4 season. Then we host, as of right now, the number 6 Oregon Ducks, who last year won 11 games on the year. Then we go on the road to face Navy, and then enter conference play against Georgia State, and then Georgia Southern, then going and playing our final non-conference game against the South Carolina Gamecocks in Columbia, and then Troy, Texas State, UL Monroe, Southern Miss, South Alabama, and then, of course, as always, Louisiana in the final week of the year for the 3rd straight season. And we'll see what happens after that. But I wanted to give us a couple of tough non-conference games against ranked opponents, at least right now, and that's going to be South Carolina and Oregon, 1 at home, 1 away. And that will do it for our 4th offseason here in this Dynasty, folks. I will, of course, go through the next high school prospects and get that board all set up going into week 0 and week 1. But we're going to leave it right here in the 2028 preseason. Hopefully, a promising year to come. Trying to build off of these first 4 years. We have 1 more games each year than the last in these first 4 years. Trying to repeat that process here in year 5 and hopefully get 11 or more and make the college football playoff for the first time in team history. But that will do it, guys. What did you think of the freshmen? What about those big 4-star portal players that we acquired that are almost all going to be starters for us this year? And what do you think about these guys that have returned to become starters in their senior year? Leave your thoughts down below, like the video, and subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care. Have a great day.